everything. Gel food.
How was it?
It's terrifying, dude.
And you didn't have that thugger commissary.
Yeah,
like you weren't getting the Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Not terrible, terrifying.
Yeah. And the thing is, this wasn't even with real prisoners. These are just motherfuckers that work at, Home Depot and everything. Like, it's just regular
Did you get
people.
$50 or something?
I can't remember if they gave us any money or anything like that. But it was just, it's so funny because it's like the sheriff was running for re-election or whatever. So it was like, look at this prison I made, and this is where you could end up if you don't elect me. And
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Guys, what's up? Welcome back. Oops Podcast. Julio Gallerati here, joined as ever by my sidekick, 300 pounds of hulking muscle, Ryan Lynch.
Lost 10 pounds since our last episode.
Have you really?
Yeah.
You've lost 10 pounds?
From 310 to 300.
Oh, sorry. I thought you literally, sorry. I've been boosting that number. He's been drinking 1,900 calorie protein shakes before bed.
oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm working my way up.
Who are you planning to fight?
Jake Paul.
My mom.
Well, speaking of muscles, we have a great comedian here, a guy I've known a long time. You might have seen him on The Tonight Show. He's a regular at the Comedy Cellar. He performs all over the country. Great guy, funny guy. Give it up for Jourdain Fisher, everybody. Welcome to the show.
What's good?
Welcome to the show, dude. Good to see you. Before we get started, let us know if you have any tour dates coming up here.
Yeah, Fort Worth, May 10th and 11th at Big Laugh Comedy Club. From there, I'm going directly to the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas for the entire week. Sweet. And then at the end of May, Zany's Rosemont, May 31st and June 1st. Come out. See you, boy.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, I'm at the House of Comedy this weekend in Detroit. And then the 1st of June, Laugh Boston. Come out. Let's hang. Well, anyway, dude, thank you for pulling up on the show.
Yeah, man.
It's good to see you.
You too.
Weather's getting good. Things are looking good. Everybody is doing well. And you just love to see it.
Yeah, the depression is melting away.
The depression is slowly melting away.
It's crazy what a little bit of sunlight will do.
It's true.
Everyone gets so social.
Dude, immediately. And you're just like, where the fuck have all y'all been?
I know.
Like, even like the women that come out, you're like, y'all just been hibernating like in some cryogenic chamber just for the past like 2 months. And then this sundress season, you're like, holy shit. It's time to re-download the apps.
Dude, I was in a workout class yesterday and there was a woman in the class who was just like tall and gorgeous.
Yeah.
And like, she was talking about what she was up to.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm about to go. And I forget where she said, but she was about to go on some incredible trip.
Yeah.
And I just started thinking about how being beautiful is like such an advantage in society.
Yeah.
And it made me be like, if you just took care of yourself more,
Yeah.
you'd look better and you too would be going on this trip. Like that's all that I could think about.
Yeah. They look at your passport and they're like, too ugly. Please go back.
You have to pay fee.
You are not allowed in our country.
Ugly
please.
fee.
Yeah. That Soul Cycle bike.
Yeah. Well, dude, this has turned into a kind of a trend on this show, but like the different people that we've had on, I typically have like kind of specific questions based on whatever I think that I know about you.
Yeah.
And I'm not making assumptions, but just like things that I've noticed or whatever. So I'm curious about a lot of stuff. So I'd like to get into it. First of all, you are in very good shape.
Oh, thank you.
You are fucking ripped.
I try to keep it together.
You've always been ripped. When I first met you, you were sort of like younger, maybe probably skinnier.
Yeah.
And it appears as if you've been getting after it consistently.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear about that.
Oh, I want to hear about your body.
I'd like to hear more about your body, dude.
Well, so I did a internship at Chippendales. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. I was like, oh, this is good.
No. I was a stream being in high school.
Gotcha.
So I was just always skinny. And then in college started taking fitness a little more seriously. I studied sports med and have a degree in kinesiology and sports medicine that I'll never use. I don't know shit, really.
But is it enough to like be able to help your own recovery and health and stuff?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know like base level stuff and just, how to work my way around the gym and everything like that. But basically I paid a few $1,000s to just know the hip bone is connected to your
Thigh bone, the
song,
thigh
like,
bone's connected to.
Like I could have just kept it right there at grade school, but no. So yeah, I think just working out. Like I just wanted to not be skinny, really. Like so, and I've always had a hard time putting on weight. Like my parents were street beans; they still are. You know, like my mom was 90 pounds soaking wet in high school up until like she had me, and my dad is still like he's never weighed over like $150.
Gotcha.
So, but me at like 155 looks heavy.
Right.
Like people are like, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, no, I'm 150 pounds.
Right.
So, but yeah, I just kind of stay consistent. One of my best friends is, you know, a strength and conditioning coach. And, you know, I've just always worked out with him and everything back home in North Carolina. So we just kind of, that's how we bond. So that's just part of that friendship that like motivates me to stay in the gym too. And, you know, yeah, I help my other friends get in shape and everything like that. So, but my problem is I have to eat all the time.
Got you. So if you were to eat like 2,500 calories, would you be skinny?
No, I
Or
would.
you
I
just
would
not eat a lot in general?
Yeah, I don't eat. Like it's like I'll have these gaps without eating where I'm like, fuck, I really need to eat. It's been like 8 hours since I've eaten and I just don't eat enough. But if I'm in the gym and eating consistently, it's just like, all right, he's jacked up. But I can fluctuate very quickly. I'm like a fighter where it's just like, I can't fight at all. But it's like I can cut weight so quickly.
Got you. Because you just live your normal life.
Yeah. But the moment I start, you know, getting back in the gym and squatting again, it's just like, whoosh. It's like in cartoons when they blow into their thumb. That's how my body reacts.
Popeye with the can of spinach.
Yeah.
Can you go like a whole day without eating if you don't catch yourself thinking about it?
I could, yeah. Like I'll have breakfast and then just be fine.
And
especially, especially because like as comics, we're so sedentary. Like if I'm just in the house relaxing all day, I'm not like burning calories. So I'm fine until the nighttime. I have to be like, hey, get up and eat. Like do your shit. Like if I'm active, then yeah, I'm good to go. Like I'm eating. But if I'm chilling, lazy day, and I don't have show till 10 p.m., it's like I have to remind myself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not burning any calories.
I'm not, but it's just
You're not
like
gaining any, but you're not losing
but
any.
your body's just kind of eating away at like your fat deposits and everything, like your storage.
I have a tough time gaining weight too, so I'm drinking shakes before I go to bed. Just that no matter what, these 1,900 calories are getting in my system.
Yeah.
But I've noticed since moving to New York the last couple of years, just like a walk, like kills calories for me.
Yeah.
And so I need to be more efficient with my routes so
That's
that I don't
crazy.
have any redundant stops. So like if I have to take the subway from my apartment and I pass my gym, I have to bring my gym clothes so I don't go into the city, then go back home to go back to the gym. I need to go into the city with my gym
From
clothes
a calorie
to go,
perspective.
From a calorie
That's
perspective,
insane.
I like need to like a lid on the amount of times I go out.
Yeah.
'Cause I need to be efficient with it.
Yeah. I used to do the shake thing too.
Yeah.
Like in college, I would just not even pour it in a cup, just right out the blender. And just, I would have this big fucking, you know, send a child 60 cents a day stomach, like that fucking descended stomach. It's just like flies coming around my head. And I just go to bed miserable. I lay down,
Oh God. Jesus, that sounds so unpleasant.
Yeah.
So would you, like being in high school, being skinny, were you ever like, if I were just a little bulkier, like I'd do better with the girls or whatever?
All that, dude. I was
That
a
was a
late
thought?
bloomer. Yeah, I was a late bloomer. Like New York changed me for sure. I mean, I had gaps in my teeth. Like I used to have spacing. I don't know if you remember that version of me.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
like
a
when
bit.
I didn't get like Invisaligns until I came to New York.
Got you.
So, and you know, back then I just had short hair. I didn't like style it. There was no fade or anything. It was just the 1.5 Caesar all over, skinny Jourdain with gaps in his teeth, just not getting pussy. Dude, I didn't lose my virginity till I was 22. I got a whole college degree before I got one credit of pussy, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, took a while.
Damn. Okay. Truly a late bloomer. That's crazy. How old were you when you moved here?
25.
25. Got it.
Yeah, and then that's when things started changing around. You're around more fashionable people, more forward-thinking people. You know, your taste changes and everything like that, and you feel like, oh, I got to keep up.
Access. And yeah, no, you're right. And it's, they say we're a product of our environment, and a lot of the time, it can be a positive thing.
Yeah.
There's negative things that come with living here as well.
Yeah. Just the general
A lot of things. yeah.
lifestyle that wears you down. This isn't normal.
No, it's not. I have this conversation a lot. It's interesting to hear you say this because, I want to talk more about your fitness routine in a second, but like, I've never like seen you be tired.
Oh, really? I'm constantly tired.
Yeah. Like if you see Jourdain, like, you know, hey, what's up? Whatever. Like you seem to be present and have energy most of the time.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered, I wonder if he's like budgeting his energy. It sounds as if, you know, maybe you are tired within or something and not showing it.
Yeah. I think I am. Like I fight that because I can wake up at like 10, 11, eat something and then be like, it's time to lay down again. Yeah. Like send, 1 or 2 emails. I'm like, all right, that's enough. And, yeah, I mean, I think I turn on more at night though. Mm-hmm. I think that's just the way my brain is wired, especially around like 11:30, I get basically the zoomies. And that's when I'm like, I want to do everything. I want to figure out a joke. I want to learn how to play this song on guitar. I want to play this video game. I want to watch this movie. My brain is just pinging around on what to do. It's like the whole ADHD just turns on at that time. And then next thing you know, it's 3:00 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. So, but you're operating on that schedule. Like during the day, are you taking it easy a lot of the time?
Yeah, a lot of time I am. But recently I've been like, hey, like fucking get to it. You kind of have to
do shit during the day.
Yeah. You kind of have to do shit during the day. Take advantage of the day. My general day is wake up, make myself breakfast, journal if I, want, and then just go work out. And then, just kind of eat. Next thing you know, it's like, all right, I got to go do shows.
Right.
Or, there's the clip editing game too. I edit all my shit myself. Mm-hmm. So there's that kind of stuff. You'll do your general admin work, but it's pretty simple throughout the day. I mean, a comic's life is pretty simple. Right. The heavy lifting is at night. And even that is just more mentally heavy lifting than anything because you're working for 15 minutes at a clip.
Totally. But yeah, like, there's something to that though, because we are people who work at night a lot of the time and you need to have energy to do that. Mm-hmm. Now you can try to operate on a normal schedule and I'm sure it's possible and it can be done or whatever. I struggle with it because I feel if I'm not like doing shit during the day, I feel lonely.
Yes.
I feel like I'm not part of society.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, do you need to do shit? But sometimes if I'm too productive, I'm like worn out by the time I have to, and now I have to go do spots. Yeah. And I can't socialize. And like, there's a lot of value to socializing like you learn shit, what people are up to, like new things you didn't know about, whatever. And you got to be present for that.
Yeah. It really does help your mental health. I think I realized that I've been seeing this girl recently and we had a day the other day. It was just a Wednesday, went to a movie, went shopping, just bopping around the city afterwards. And I texted her, I was like, that was really nice, and like, thanks for like being flexible and just going around. Like, I think it really does help to do something during the day for me, like, because I'm home a lot and it's just kind of isolating. So yeah, I think just like being alone it really is lonely and it just makes your brain kind of operate at a lower frequency.
Agreed. And like my brain is like filled with a lot of the time like negative whatever, but like those kind of thoughts are exhausting. Yeah. Like you don't have space and time to like be productive because you like feel bad about yourself or something.
Yeah, because it's just downtime with you and your thoughts. Yeah. And your thoughts are not good. Your thoughts aren't sitting there like, what's great?
Are not good.
You.
Yeah, right.
It's just sitting there like you should be doing more. Problem, right. What's going on? Like, is this gonna work? And so, but if you're socializing with people, and it's better for comedy because a lot of times as comedians, the first time we talk to people is on stage, right. And that's crazy. Like you're not warmed up
for the day.
For the day. There have been times where it's like, I don't talk to anybody all day until I am in a room full of 100 to 200 people.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And that's my first interaction. I'm just like, what's weird? Dicks. And they're like, huh? Like, that's my first thing. So yeah, you need to have that like little tune up with society before you just start going and performing.
Yeah. Yeah, I always think, and like Hillary always is like, this is a good business idea. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to start a business. Like, I feel like to do a side hustle, you need to have the original hustle really well oiled. So I'm like, let's pull it. But like, imagine if there was a place where like we could all do this admin work but there was like other people around. That isn't a WeWork. That was like specific for
coffee
entertainment. I know it exists, but like imagine if it was like only people who are like directly in our industry, like being in the same place or something. Like that could be nice.
Like entertainers themselves.
I guess, like, dude, even if it was specifically comedians, it might, and that might be shitty. It might sound better than it really is. Just like comedian personalities, like it can be heavy, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, like some way to make it all more tolerable, because to your point, like if I'm sitting there by myself, I'm like working on a joke or whatever. I like how long it takes me to make progress versus if I'm just like sitting with you and fucking around and like immediately like the funny part of it will just like come to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Talking it out helps. I mean, we got into this because we were probably funny around people.
Right.
And then the more you do it, the less you are just like doing that. Like the less you're with your friends just shooting the shit, aside from like the comedy club itself. But most of the work is done before you get to the comedy club.
Totally.
And it's like your friends grow up, they have families and everything. So you're just not spending your time during the day just, you know, dicking around, like talking to your friends and making jokes.
Right.
That'd be the life.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Right.
It'd
Just
be great.
sitting on the,
work
like
that
those
way.
dudes who just like sit outside, like shooting the shit.
Yeah.
Like those guys are having a good time.
They're having a great time. I mean, I get why, you know, big comics take just, you know, their friends on tour with them, because it's
Totally.
like, it's like, shit, dude, I'm out with 3 of my friends every day, just joking around.
Right.
And it's like, I'll get some bit out of us just like,
Totally.
you know, hanging.
Do you ever try to switch it up and change environments, go to a coffee shop? Have you found that to be a positive?
Yeah. I've told myself I just need to start doing that more. Because I'll take myself on, you know, what they call like an artist date, where it's just like, I'm just going to go around the city. You know, I like photography and shit like that. So it's like, I'll go around the city, like take some shots, like just take in the world, you know? But
That's cool.
Yeah,
Like that.
I think like productivity wise, I need to focus on just like actually going to some environment like that, like a cool coffee shop or anything. And just kind of being in a place with energy that's not your own 4 walls. That's kind of why I like doing the road too.
I talk about this too.
Yeah, it's a change up. It's not like the norm, because living in New York, you kind of get settled in a routine. And even when I go out and take a walk around the park near my neighborhood, it starts to feel stale, even though it's a nice park. And I feel great to have that available to me, steps outside my apartment. It just feels routine. And I think like I'm somebody that needs to see changes of environment a lot to keep like things firing. Like as soon as I land in the city, it's like my brain just starts working more at a higher level for creativity, you know, because I'm just not in the same space.
Yeah, no, agreed. And you're not as burdened by your own life. Instead of like drowning in all of your problems, you suddenly are like a step up. You can look back at it and be like, okay. The other thing that I do, I convince myself that there's more to be done than there actually is.
Yeah.
So like as I begin my tasks for the day, I'm like, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like, and I start deciding it's going to take 7 hours, and then it makes it harder to do it when I could have actually done it in an hour.
Yeah.
And like on the road, it's simple. It's more simplistic because I only am doing the things that I literally have to do.
Yeah.
But it's typically like the lion's share of what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, this is really nice. I love being on the road too.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, just writing it out helps for me.
Yeah.
How do you write it out? Do you make lists with little boxes that you check off that make you feel productive?
It won't even be that necessarily, because I'll do like, you know, what they call the morning pages. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I haven't heard of this.
Yeah.
Aaron Berg is the person who told me about this.
Yeah. So there's a book called The Artist's Way. And basically one of the big takeaways from the book is just wake up and just word vomit 3 pages out. Just, it doesn't have to be poetic. It doesn't even have to be, you know, intelligent or anything. Just get out your thoughts, stream of consciousness. And a lot of times in that process, I will put down like, I need to go to the gym today. I need to write this joke. I need to file my taxes, whatever. And writing it out, like getting it out of your body instead of keeping it in your mind, makes you do it. It just kind of forces you to do it. I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't know. It just makes you do it.
Interesting.
You hit the coffee shop hard.
I do.
I've seen. And that's been a nice thing for you.
It has been, because like you observe things. Like when I'm alone in the apartment, you don't see anything happen. Yeah. Like if you're not interacting with your buddies, that's one thing. But also if you're not just seeing people, like doing something, like, you know, you get inspired or you see something happen, and then that sparks an idea.
Yeah.
And then also just you feel like a human being, part of society. It's nice out.
Yeah.
There's tons. New York is coffee shop. especially Brooklyn.
Yes.
I live in Brooklyn. Like, it's so easy just to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And it just, the changing up the scene just does wonders for you.
Yeah.
Even beyond work, just like mental health,
100%,
life,
100%.
you need to switch it up. There's been so many times in the winter where like I've caught myself like, oh my God, I didn't leave the apartment at all today.
It's hard though. New York in the winter
cold.
is like, it's hard to get out there because it's just gray and rainy and cold, and we're always in the elements. Like I always feel a little bit stranded in New York because I grew up in the South where you have a car, there's open spaces, and if you go somewhere, you can just dip and leave. Like
Where in North Carolina?
In Greensboro. I split time between Greensboro and Raleigh.
Got you.
So, but growing up in a suburban city where you rely on your own transportation, you always feel like you can get out of the situation. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
You know, New York is, you're at the mercy of the city. So if your train is fucked, you're fucked.
Or you can pay an absurd amount of money to fix the problem.
Yes.
If there's a marathon that day,
Yes.
you're stuck on your block.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It's like calling an Uber sometimes where you're like, this is $80 for a ride.
No.
If you call the friend and say, hey, can I get a ride to my house real quick? And they're like, yeah, it's just $80. You'd be like, I'll fucking kill you.
Dude,
Are you serious?
I can't do it. I take public transportation to the airport unless I'm with my girl.
Damn, yeah. It's hard sometimes, dog. Like
I know.
Sometimes that hour, like, because for me it's like an hour plus, and I'm just like, oof.
Yeah, I know. It's something that I actually should just like accept and start just taking Ubers, but I just can't do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 questions. So first of all, you said you had a day with the girl you're seeing around the city. Did she have to like take the day off? Is her thing flexible? Like, what's her deal? How was she able to do that?
She's a creative too. She's a musician.
Got it.
So you know, it kind of works out perfectly.
Oh, great.
You know, it's kind of great. You know, so we went and saw a French film at IFC. I've never been to the IFC theater before. It's good.
Where is that?
It's at the Village. It's right across the street from
Okay.
Fat Black.
Yes. Okay. That one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So did that and went and got some food after, some breakfast. Well, I was in a shopping mood. You get one of those where you're just like, I want to spend $200 today.
100%.
You know, you
100%.
go buy some clothes.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's like, all right, gotta go to work.
Fuck yeah.
You know, I love a good day.
Love a good day.
That's a vibe right there.
dude.
You got me excited.
Dog, right?
You got me wanting to spend money I don't
Right?
have right now.
Yeah.
Let's go. Run it up.
It's that season though, like where you can go out and just bop around.
I love to bop.
Dude, like January to March in New York is a test of your soul.
It's bad.
Like, cause you know winter is whatever. You survive the holidays, but then the new year and you're like, just get this the fuck out the way.
Yeah.
Just bring on 60 degrees, please. And it doesn't come till about May here.
I know.
It's so brutal.
And you're used to the spring being in like a proper March, right?
Yeah. Like in North Carolina, it's probably like 75 degrees right now or more. Like, and it's been hot for a while.
Right. Yeah. It's like humid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. Growing up in the Northeast, I don't know if you felt this way too. I always thought that the entire South was tropical.
Just a bunch of rednecks, just like,
Dude.
well, damn, these palm trees.
Exactly. Like I didn't realize until not long ago that like Florida is truly the only place that has year-round tropical climate, pretty much.
Yes.
Maybe there are parts like, I don't know, Southern Texas, Arizona, like not even San Diego that maybe, but like
Yeah.
it gets cold
It gets cold.
at
dude.
some point everywhere. But maybe it's just not as prolonged or whatever.
Yeah. It is pretty crazy that America has pretty much every ecosystem.
Yeah,
If
it
you
is.
really like travel around, it's like, holy shit. Like,
Big ass country.
yeah. Like we've got just, the cities, we got literal tropical areas, you got the desert, you got the mountains. Like it's all right there if you just travel it around. And like a lot of people don't see all of it.
I know.
Like
Sure.
the West Coast is baffling to me. Every time I go out there, I'm enamored with it. It's so sick.
Yeah, I feel like LA might look good on you, dude. If you ever end up-
Trust me, I've heavily considered it. Heavily. I almost moved there instead of here first.
Interesting.
Yeah, in North Carolina, before I moved here, I was wavering between LA and New York. And Chappelle came and played Winston-Salem. And this was like while he was still like a mystery.
Okay, he had not made his full comeback yet.
Yeah. Like tickets went on sale and it was like, Dave Chappelle's coming to Winston-Salem. And you're like, excuse me?
Pardon me?
Like where you had to read it a couple times and be like, and then you bought tickets and you're like, okay. And went and saw him. Great show. He came to the bar that we were hanging out at afterwards, like right across the street. And I asked him, I was like, yo, like, I was like 6 years into comedy. This is like my fucking idol. And I was like, yo, I'm a comedian. He's like, oh, word, you're a comedian. I was like, yeah. And he's like, and I was like, yeah, I'm thinking of moving to LA or New York. And I was leaning LA hard because I didn't want to deal with the bullshit weather here.
Totally.
And he was like, I go to New York. That's where I went. It's a great city. You'll get stronger as a comedian, this and that. And I was like, all right, that settles it.
That's sick, dude. That's like a chills moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So it literally just changed the whole
That's crazy,
direction of what I was going to do with my life.
That's so cool.
So, but I think I'll make the jump at some point.
Well, I'm sure you'll have to for some work thing or whatever. Like, I'm sure you'll end up and you'll really enjoy it. But you mentioned something that I'm interested about. So, you've been on the road a bunch. You got to see a bunch of the country. Before you were doing that, how extensively had you traveled around the country?
Comedy is the main reason I've traveled around the country. Like the sole reason, probably. Because I think, let's see. I mean, my family, my mom, my little brother and stepdad, like they're decently traveled. They haven't really done a lot overseas, but around the country, we would take some trips. They were good about like taking us on some trips. Like it got to a point where my mom got tired of like cooking at Thanksgiving. So my stepdad decided like, we're going to go to a city for Thanksgiving. So it's like we hit like Chicago and New Orleans and things like that.
Cool.
Which is dope. But comedy is the reason I've seen so much of the country at this point. And I have to like keep that in perspective when I like talk to my friends and everything. And I'm like
your friends from home?
Yeah. Cause I mean, I feel like most people, you're not going to be well traveled unless you make a concerted effort to go around.
True. And there's also a higher likelihood that you will make that concerted effort based on a couple of like factors of where you are. So if you're in Greensboro or whatever, like that's not that close to Charlotte, right?
It's about, it's an hour and a half or so. It's not too bad. And Charlotte's a major airport.
It's a major airport.
And Raleigh is a major airport too, which is also another hour and a half. But it's one of those things where it's like, unless you're really like putting the time in, because I think the idea of traveling is a big hurdle in people's minds.
Totally. We talk about this.
Yeah. Like,
and it's not that hard, but like,
it's not that hard.
But we are experienced enough that like things that would be problems for other people, like it's just, we take in stride now.
Yeah.
Requires some training.
Yeah. I mean, we've been forced into it. And then after a while you realize like, okay, looking up flights isn't that hard. Finding a hotel isn't that daunting.
It's not, it's also not as expensive as you just assume it's going to be. So, but the thing what you were saying about talking to your friends, I'm curious about that. Like,
yeah, because I mean, so one of my closest buddies, he didn't get on a plane until like 31,
right?
Probably, and that was to come up to see me. Him and his wife came up to New York, and that was like their first time. And even like her booking the travel and everything, she was talking to another one of our close friends, like she's like, I don't know how to look up flight. I'm like, literally just Google
right
NC to NYC, and like I said, it's like people have it as this monumentous task that they have to do. But once you do it, and I was telling him, because he was asking me questions about preparing for the flight, I was like, it's not as big a deal as you think. Like, it'll be fine. And also, this flight is up and down. You will be in the sky for 30 minutes.
2 seconds. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need to approach that conversation sensitively because, like, you don't want to...
Yeah, you don't want to come off as pretentious or anything like that. But it's also exciting because you're like, hey, like, this is great. Like, this is going to open up a whole new world for you.
Totally.
Like you travel around, you get on a plane, you're going to see like, oh, this is a whole nother environment I've never been to. And then, when I go to other places, I have them in mind where I'm like, yo, like Seattle or something. You would love Seattle. Like whenever, your daughter gets to a certain age and all that kind of stuff, like it'd be dope for y'all to see this place. I know how much y'all love nature and everything. So I like passing on the word to them about places to go and experience and everything, and they're like open to it. And I like talking about travel with them, just and asking like, what are some places you would like to see? I think a lot of people get in their own way of and not to say them specifically, but I think like sometimes people don't believe that they're allowed to or can go experience life. You know, like I dated a girl one time that I asked her like, oh, what's some places you'd like to go? And she's like, I don't like to think about that kind of stuff because it won't happen. I'm like,
oh, damn.
and like, you just have to put aside like $600,
Defeatist.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. No, this is like right up our alley. I was busting his balls because we were just talking about traveling and whatever. And like, that's obviously the thing I'm very interested in. And, you know, just talking about the hurdle of prioritizing it, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
I've only gone up until the last couple of years, the same places
Yeah.
over and over.
Where?
San Diego,
Uh-huh.
Disney.
I grew up going to Disney and all that too.
Yeah, my grandparents were vacation club members, so
Yeah.
I would go every other year. I just went. I got back last weekend.
Oh shit, dude.
Literally,
Yeah.
less than 2 weeks ago. I've been to Disney like 20 times.
Yeah.
and that's just how it was.
Right.
I've been to Nassau, Bahamas, a handful of times, and those are really the three places that I've always been to up until the last couple of years. I went to Europe twice last year.
That's awesome.
and that like blew my mind.
Right.
and now I have the itch.
Yeah.
But it did take a while
Yeah.
to broaden my horizons.
Where'd you go in Europe?
I went to first trip went to London.
Uh-huh.
Then second trip in November, I went to Amsterdam and Paris.
Fuck
And
yeah.
I loved Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, of course
I
you did.
think about it like every day.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure she put a number on you.
No. We did. I went with my girl.
Took me too long to get that. That was good.
No, I did not like the red light district. It made me feel very dirty.
The Times Square for pussy. Yeah.
But we did walk through it. We did a tour of the red light district. It was
Yeah.
cool. It was cool to see that. I had no idea what to expect going there.
Yeah.
And I
It's
had
also
no,
coffee shop land.
it is coffee
Probably
shop
made you
land.
excited in that
Yeah,
capacity.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think Brooklyn's coffee shop
Yeah.
land. I love the coffee here. But yeah, it took me a while, but now I'm at that point of no return. I'm like very interested in going back.
Yeah.
And checking out some new spots.
It's exciting. Yeah. My family, we grew up going to Universal and Disney every year too. My granddad had a timeshare. So,
Oh, cool.
I mean,
It's
as a
always the
kid, it's
timeshare.
the shit.
It's the best, yeah.
As a kid, I look forward to summer every year. We're like, that's the summer trip. I get to go with my family. We drove.
Nice.
We did like the 12-hour
It's a
road
big drive,
trip.
yeah.
Down is like,
Another northern fallacy. We just assumed that drive is short.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
I've driven down 3 times from Jersey.
Fuck yeah.
To go to
crazy.
Disney.
That's a
So
long
we could bring
time.
my little Karen Terrier.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that road trip was, I mean, memories.
Yeah, dude.
It was the shit.
Well, bro, it's funny, like talking about, so I tend to be like, I wouldn't even call myself like a casually traveled person at this point. Like I'm attempting to make it part of my persona.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of
I've
places.
done a bunch of shit. So but what you mentioned earlier, like kind of struck a nerve, I guess. I don't know if that's the right expression for this, but like the idea that I have experienced and seen so much that I sometimes get self-conscious about it if I'm just like hanging out with certain people, because while I know that I've experienced cool stuff that people would find interesting, it can be like pretentious.
Yeah.
And like, there's nothing more annoying than when you're talking to someone and like, you're talking about what you're going to do and they've done every single thing you're saying. Like, that's annoying. So you have to try to be gentle.
Yeah.
And you can tell which people have like a thirst for it. Like people ask, and dude, if you ask, I can fucking go on forever. But if you don't, like, I try my best to like feel it out, because even though, and I remember when I first started to experience stuff like that maybe people I'd grown up with hadn't, when I'd see them, I had all these stories. Guess who I saw? Guess what I did? And I started to realize that like that might be annoying.
Right.
But I didn't initially. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I have shame about it.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I don't know. I get that. I understand what you're saying for sure. It is hard to like, because I mean, most people really, a lot of people are on autopilot.
Right.
You know,
right.
like it, and you know, America is set up where it's like, here's your 2 little weeks.
Right. We
you
work
know?
a lot.
Yeah. Like you fucking do what you want to with those weeks. And even if you ask to take the time off, they'll shame you.
Right.
So
You can technically take it, but like if you do, it's frowned upon.
right. So a lot of people don't get to go travel around. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just the world is so fucking big. Like, I mean, I've only been overseas once, and it's like I'm trying to get to like you, where it's like you've seen the world. Like it's so fucking cool.
Oh yeah. Where'd you go?
I went to Portugal.
Oh, sick.
Which was great. Like that was like a great. Now everybody's going to Portugal. Me and my ex went, years ago. This was back in like 2018 or something, 2017. and is like a great entry level trip into Europe. You know, this year in September, I'm doing like a run through the UK and then going to like Rotterdam and Amsterdam and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. Like I've always wanted to just see what that's like. I've never been to London or anything like that. So
that rules.
Yeah,
that's really exciting. But yeah, I guess that's true. Portugal, it's like a short flight, relatively speaking, and most people speak English. It's like, but it's very European. Yeah. So it's like you get to experience the culture shock, but it's like palatable.
Yeah. What's the place where you experienced the most culture shock?
Afghanistan.
Yeah. You don't say.
Yeah. Well, just from the perspective of like people dress different. Like it's just like normal to wear that thing that you see them wearing.
Yeah.
Like everybody dresses like that.
Yeah.
And it would be weird to dress like you and me.
Yeah.
So that immediately.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I've definitely. I've experienced like a good amount of culture shock, but I also am trying not to get like desensitized to it, like chasing the dragon. Like I try my best to like really pay attention anywhere I go, because if you do pay attention, I find that you can truly find the differences, not only in different countries, but literally like from city to city. Like if you're paying attention, everybody does something well everywhere. And it's fun to like see what that is. And like you can be amazed how much you can learn, as I'm sure you know. So
has it shifted your perspective on America and how we live?
Yeah, no, for sure. In some ways, like it's just perspective. Like, and again, even like traveling state to state, you can see this too. It's like, you know, you grow up, America, best country. Like I still feel that way. I love America. I'm like very patriotic, very proud to live here, all that stuff. But you know, like to think that America does every single thing better than everyone else is just wrong.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see what other places excel at and what those things are. And it's funny, we were talking about this earlier, and this is not a good example because this would also apply to like a small town. But the other day I see these shelves here.
Yeah.
I was walking them up the stairs, and by myself, like in the box, I was like, oh, I'm not going to call Hillary out. It was raining.
Right.
And I'm kind of getting up the stairs, but it starts to get wet and everything just bursts out of the bottom. And dude, like dozens and dozens of pieces of wood, and you've seen the stairs out front, are just barreling down into the street. And as I'm standing there, like attempting to figure out what to do, like 3 or 4 people walk by and they're like, ooh. Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, in Afghanistan, every single fucking person would help me.
Yeah.
But that's some small town shit too. In New York, you gotta be careful.
Yeah. They're like, oh, he's having a New York day.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They're like, oh, poor bastard.
Yeah.
But how many states have you been to? You know?
Oh, geez.
Do you think about this?
Yeah, I do. There's just a few that I need to check off. Like I haven't been to like Hawaii or Wyoming. It's just a couple in the middle that I haven't been to.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, there's some of those states that just like don't really like there just aren't enough people for you to like be booking shows there.
I'm not really trying to go to Mississippi either,
right,
or you know, Alabama. I'm like, I'm good.
Generational trauma.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm straight on that.
Julia, would you happen to know off the top of your head the least populated state?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's Wyoming.
Yeah.
And I want to say
that sounds right. I think
Wyoming.
you mentioned it before.
575,000 people or something.
Yeah. There's just like
he's good at this too. He's probably got it. Wait, what did you say? I'm going to look it up.
I said 575,000. There's a chance that it's not the least populated, but I think
it is though.
What did you? One more time.
575,000.
581,000.
No way.
That's pretty close.
That's great, dude.
That's as of 2022. Maybe a lot of people moved over there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's all on Kanye's ranch.
Yes, all on Kanye.
That's his whole congregation.
Okay, this is a good chance for us to pivot here. I'd like to talk about rap beef.
Okay.
Oh
yeah. Hell yeah.
We're getting very like reflective about spending time alone. I'm like, fuck it, let's talk about beef, bro. I've noticed like I'll be watching one of your sets or something, and like you seem to have your finger on the pulse, like
a little bit. Yeah.
You're clever. And another thing, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but you'll be talking about something that's like very topical, and I'm like, ooh, like that's clever. Like this is funny. It's like a fleeting thing. So he's gonna clip this and post it.
Yeah.
And then it'll like pop off, and I'm like, this is like good use of brain capacity.
Yeah. You kind of have to. It's fucking topical game. Yeah, dude. This rap beef is fun right now.
It's like the Royal Rumble of rap beef.
Yeah, it's really fun. All because one verse.
I know.
Kendrick's one verse, but dog, Drake really came back hard.
He really did.
He really came back hard. First of all, I cannot get this, not even Kendrick, I cannot get the line of Metro, shut your hoe ass up and make some drums, nigga, is the funniest thing. It is the funniest thing to tell a producer, because you're just telling him to do his job, and if he does his job, you still look like a bitch.
Dude, yeah, it was pretty. So for anybody who isn't up to date on this, which I think there is a chance some of our listeners are not, there's this rap beef happening. You probably, if you don't already know, you're getting some little sprinkles here. There was a verse on the We Don't Trust You, Metro Boomin and Future album. Kendrick sort of shoots shots at Drake. And then like
Drake and J. Cole.
You realize everybody is sort of also shooting shots at Drake. And they sort of alluded to that. Like Metro was sort of doing it. And we've talked about this too, where it's like, do these guys literally plan this?
Yeah.
Or do they see it happening? And like Rick Ross is taking advantage of this right now too.
Yeah.
He's like, he's back. So anyway, it's like there's 20 rappers who are basically like shitting on Drake for unknown reasons. They might be specific.
Yeah, it
don't
just
know.
seemed out of nowhere. Like there was just this, underground bunker meeting where we're like, we have to go at Drake now.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
like everybody's like, we're done with him. We're all unfollowing him.
Yeah,
like they had a rap brunch, and they all decided to unfollow Drake. And Drake got in his feelings, as he lives there.
Yes, he does.
And Drake is petty.
Yes.
This man is petty and lonely. That man is lonely. That man is sad.
Is that like Lonely at the Top?
Yes,
Shit?
that man is sad. He never grew up. Like he still has like high school energy in him. He's like an 18-year-old that got everything he wanted and then didn't know how to like grow with it. And because he's still out here just like, oh, I want to fuck her and her. It's sad. It's sad. Like it gets to a point where it's like, dog, like you'll fuck anybody. like I know this for a fact. Like he's like her, yeah, bring her back. And it's just like him. I imagine he fucks from behind with like no expression. Like just
Did you see the video of him beating his meat that leaked?
Bro, this is what I'm thinking about. You had a joke about this.
Yeah.
I don't need to say it's massive. I mean, it is massive.
I saw like somebody sent to our group chat just a picture. And I was like, come on, like what the fuck, but
Too early in the day for this.
But yeah, it's just like this man is like, there's nothing going on behind the eyes. Like as far as like with sex, it's just a thing for him. He's just collecting. He's like a hoarder.
Right.
Where it's like you don't need it, you're just doing it. But yeah, it's just like I think all these rappers just I don't know what Drake has done, because he's done a lot of shady shit where he's just like, oh, I'll slide in your girl's DMs or whatever. It's
Right,
like, hey,
I heard that.
What the fuck are you doing?
But don't all these guys do that? Like every rapper's dated Karrueche, dude. Like they all date the same 10 girls.
Right. Yeah.
Which is just like an ego thing.
Yeah, but I think Drake has a little less honor among thieves.
Got it. Okay. So and then I know that there's stuff about him getting mad. They took him off a verse or whatever. So like, has everyone had it with him, or is it are they jealous? Like, I don't really get it.
I don't know.
Have you seen Tokyo Vice?
No.
Tokyo Vice, Lynch? Anyway, there's like a thing where all the mob bosses gang up against the main mob boss because he's gotten too powerful.
I mean, it wouldn't
like
surprise me. Yeah. So that guy, it is crazy though, because the thing is, like, as much as people will make fun of Drake, he's proven himself.
Oh yeah.
To be a great artist. I don't necessarily like all the sad singy shit that he does.
Lynch agrees with this, right?
I work out to that.
Yeah.
I get my best pump
Right,
when
yeah.
he's dumping sadness.
Yeah. I'm just like, bro, like, because the thing is, I don't mind you doing the singing. It's just do it well. My thing is, like, there are songs that he does it well, but a lot of them now are not well. They're just boring.
Right. He's like talk singing.
Why'd you need me? Girl. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Come on. It doesn't get you going.
I'm like, get to rapping, bro. Get to rap, because he's so good at it. Like,
when you were alone that day,
yeah.
and I was walking by you, then
I'm like, bro, you're 35. Get over her.
That's funny.
What's wrong with you? But yeah, like he's proven himself to be one of those people where it's like, yo, I'll sing, but I also will fuck you up.
Right.
Like he did it to Meek Mill.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that's really got him was Pusha.
And that was Kanye's fault. Kanye got a little piece of info. Like to me, that was like there's an asterisk on that L.
Yeah.
He got that little juicy info.
Was that after Search and Destroy? Because Search and Destroy, he used Kim. And I don't know if he used Kim's sample
different.
as a weapon.
So Kanye, like Drake, Kanye was apparently like bringing Drake to Wyoming to groom him, to like then take him down, like some Shakespearean shit.
Yeah.
He told him he had a kid on the way or something, and then he told Pusha T about that, and then Pusha T like announced that Drake had a kid coming before Drake had, and like it was a pretty big L.
And this is his son who has the song.
Adonis,
So this was a couple years. This was
this is a few years back.
Yeah,
he's like 6 or 8.
Yeah,
right?
Drake already had the kid, and like
that was under wraps.
Pusha was like, "You hiding your kid from the world and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you got a secret son that you don't even talk about." Ugh, you know? and then Kanye, remember the Scoopity Poop?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was Drake was supposed to be on that song basically. Like Kanye was like, "Oh, we're making this song and blah blah," and Drake did a verse and then trolled Drake by releasing the song, and it was Scoopity Poop.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that part. I didn't know that part.
I remember trying to convince myself that I would like that song. I was like, wait a minute, it's like irony. But like after a couple
poop.
I was like, no, like I think he means something by the extra scoop dee poop dee. But then I realized this is just trash.
It made me laugh so hard the
so
first time I
insane.
heard it. But the beat is good. It's honestly a shame nobody has like
scoop dee poop.
Yeah, it's a shame nobody's like actually taken the beat and like done some
Right.
hard shit on. If this was Wayne back in the drop
Oh my
days,
God, mixtape.
you would have fucked that shit up, dude.
Hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Do you have regional loyalty to Pusha T, being from the Mid-Atlantic region?
No, not really. I'm like, all right, I get it. You sold cocaine. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah,
it. Like, even J. Cole's a North Carolina dude, and I don't even have necessarily regional loyalty to him. I like him, but I'm also like, all right. Like, Kendrick is the dude I like the most.
Got
I mean,
it.
I grew up loving Kanye, and then, Kanye, but Kendrick, I'm like, this dude, even though right now, looking a little like, hey, man, you got to answer back.
It's good for him because like he had that moment where he like killed everybody on that one song.
Control.
Yeah. And then
Which song?
Control, he basically like calls everybody out, but he does it in a way that like makes him look awesome and also isn't too antagonistic somehow.
Right. Yeah.
And now, look, you get what you get.
Yeah.
Drake had some really painful lines for Kendrick about like the Taylor needing a verse. I was like,
Also,
oof, Jesus.
using Tupac and Snoop, which are West Coast rappers, to tear down a West Coast rapper. And, on To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick was using Pac's voice and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, Drake's petty.
He's smart, he's petty, and it's like, okay. But the one thing that has annoyed me is throughout all of this, anytime anything comes out, it's like unclear if it's AI or not.
Yes.
Like there's a Kendrick AI response.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like good.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like,
Terrifying.
Like Drake had to drop push-ups on streaming to prove that it wasn't AI.
Right.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
There was that AI song that came out like a year ago with I'm gonna look it up, but I think it's Drake and The Weeknd.
Oh yeah.
It
It's like Ghost something, some Ghost Writer. I think
Yeah.
that was the name or something. And they took it off streaming, rightfully so. But it
I
was
think they were talking about trying to like nominate it for like a Grammy or something like that, and they were like, "We can't open this door, even
That's
though
crazy.
it will happen." I bet you there will be eventually an AI category, like the Grammy nomination for AI.
Right. Like
Hard
like,
on My Sleeve.
Yeah.
That was the
like
name of the song.
original screenplay versus adapted screenplay.
yeah.
Like yeah.
Well, who does that even go to for the AI thing? Like,
I don't know. The guy,
just-
the computer guy.
just
I don't even know.
upload the
Yeah, no.
Grammy
The
to the
website.
cloud. Yeah,
The website.
yeah.
The thing is, like, usually when there's beef, it's like there's one set of beef and it's a storyline and a narrative that everybody can follow. But now it's like this big web of beef that like is so overwhelming that even if you sit down and organize everything, it's so hard to explain and to comprehend. I even saw sprinkled on my feed earlier this week that Kanye recently said that he wants to have sex with Michelle Obama. And like, no one's giving that any attention.
Kanye now at this point is just like, that's just Uncle Ye over there. He just says crazy shit. Like, Kanye is the drunk uncle at the cookout now.
I guess he is, yeah.
Like, he's
That's just he has tinfoil teeth.
Yeah, exactly. He's turned into something else at this point where it's like you can't even pay attention to him at this point. Like you can't, because he even inserted himself into the Drake thing, like where he did a remix on Like That.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
Yes.
why are you showing up right now?
Yeah.
Everyone just wants to be included on this.
Yeah.
It seems like
It's
there's
just a rap game right now. It's not even so much like person versus person. I think everybody's just in this mode where it's like, no, I'm the dude right now. And I think it's like hot to have a beef right now because Chris Brown and Quavo are going at it right now. and Chris like rapped and tore him up.
Bro, the thing that's crazy about Chris Brown, he's so talented that he's a better rapper than most rappers, but chooses not to in lieu of other talents.
Yeah, in lieu of
Just dances.
in lieu of
I just dance.
in lieu of throwing chairs through windows.
Yeah, right.
This
Yeah.
motherfucker. He could have been, dude, where Drake is right now. Like Chris Brown could have been that. Chris Brown could have been Taylor Swift level.
Without like anger management and whatever.
Had none of that Rihanna stuff gone down, and even if it had he like rehabilitated his image and not leaned into bad boy and like was, acting full on Good Morning America or like, just having all these temper tantrums and stuff, and then having multiple other women that he was being violent towards. Basically, if he was a totally different person, if he wasn't a piece of shit, he would be like our Michael Jackson. Like, because he was headed that direction.
People would champion him.
And he still sells a ton of tickets.
He still does. He's still
does like
selling
big
out.
arenas
He's
and
still
stuff.
doing
Yeah.
great, but he would have been, on the level of, if not more than Usher, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he was around, when in his younger days, like 16, like people were losing their fucking minds, dude. Like, and that dude can dance his ass off. He can sing his ass off and rap now.
Yeah,
Dude.
it's true. I think they're all stressed because I think all of their streams are a little down. Yeah. I think that this motherfucker is taking them over.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Bad Bunny sweatshirt, by the way. But like I think that they are all they all are sort of like, and I don't know what happened. I think I have a theory. So I think that like there was a time where like all these rappers were huge and they'd go and they'd do a show and they just dance around while their song plays and they perform for 20 minutes and they were 5 hours late. Like Kodak Black, like
Oh
ruined.
my God, the
like,
Kodak
they
Black, that was a bad
all those
scene.
dudes were doing that for a moment, bro. It's like I wouldn't even want to go to a show of my favorite rapper because I'm like I know the show's gonna suck.
But you have to know who you're going to see.
You need to know whose show is good.
Like a Kodak Black, like this fucking gremlin. You can't expect him to.
Right.
You got to know the person.
Yeah.
Cole probably puts on a good show.
Cole puts on a good show. Drake puts on a good
Drake puts
show
on a
from
good
what I've
show.
seen. Kendrick, I saw Kendrick on the Big Steppers tour. That was one of the dopest
It was amazing.
shows.
Was Baby Keem?
Baby Keem was there.
Wow.
Dude, that show,
That's
it was
cool.
like a rap opera. It wasn't like just having like the DJ up and then, bah, 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 bah. Like it was all choreographed, planned out. Like it was a full, Helen Mirren narrates the whole thing.
That's crazy.
Like the concert's on Amazon Prime. Like they filmed the Paris
cool.
show.
That's cool.
And it's incredible.
Yeah,
It's
I gotta
so
see
cool.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. That's good. No, I'm definitely. It's funny. I'm a fan of all these guys for the most part. So it's funny when they start fighting with each other. I'm like, all right, well, I guess
Yeah.
enjoy this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have either of you seen Tyler perform?
I want to see him perform.
Because at
so
Coachella,
bad.
they had him like they had him vertical, like climbing up a fake mountain or something on
He
stage.
puts on a fucking show.
Yeah.
Any show I've seen, like where I watch it on YouTube, that dude, he is, to me, he's doing what, like, he picked up where Kanye
Dude,
went
I
astray.
was just gonna say that. So it's funny, like throughout hip hop, there's been a role of a specific type of person where like they can rap and they're really good at it, but like you can tell that like that's not the thing that makes them special.
Yeah.
Like the RZA was one of them for Wu-Tang. Kanye is another one, and Tyler. So even with like Odd Future and stuff, like just whatever he's gonna do is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Whether or not like the rapping part is the highlight of it.
Yeah.
Do you think that's
he puts on
fair?
a production, of a full level show that is like, oh, this is all immersive and, it intertwines with another and his energy is just right there and in your face and audacious. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's one of those things that I really, really want to see live.
Totally.
And he produced Igor, I think, completely by himself.
Yep.
And he won, was it Rap Album of the Year?
Yep.
In 2019? or
Because he
whatever?
lost he lost Rap Album of the Year for
Flower
Flower
Boy?
Boy, and that, lit a fire under his ass. It's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like sometimes you have to lose to win.
Yeah. He comes off as very authentic.
Oh yeah.
Like what you see is what you get with him.
Yeah.
And you don't see that with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Would you guys think that, like what Julia mentioned when we first started talking about this, that there is like an underlying agenda that everyone collaboratively is forming this beef with each other only to create like an Avengers style collab album where everybody comes together?
Something like that.
That's not exactly that's my riff off of
Is
your
it
take.
that, or is it like reality TV where like we don't have to say we're being extra, but we know what we're all doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, any rap beef stuff is WWE. You know, it's like
Well said.
we're all on the same page here, and we'll have our rivalries, but nobody's really gonna do anything to each other at this point? Like, we're not in a time where you can just get away with shit anymore. And then also there's too much at stake now because rap is the tentpole of the music industry.
It's so mainstream, right?
It's so huge. Like what rap is what rock and roll was in the 70s and 80s and everything. It's the biggest part of music. It's the biggest genre of music outside of actual female pop stars right now. Because pop is dominated by the female stars right now, which is great. But nobody in rap is gonna really fucking do anything, Like, and also they have those people in place, like when the Pusha T and Drake thing was going down, Jay Prince stepped in, who's like the head of like rap in Houston and all that kind of stuff. He stepped in and was like, all right, that's enough. We're not taking this any further, and they had to listen because Jay Prince is not someone to fuck around with,
right?
You know, he's somebody that's like, no, well, you keep fucking with me, I'll show you what's up.
Right. He's sort of
he's like the Godfather,
presiding over it all.
Yeah.
Which reminded me of something. I read this thread on Twitter the other day that really made me giggle. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. But it was saying how like MC Hammer was like had like very deep ties to like quote the street, and that like anybody who slighted him would end up apologizing, including people that we know to be the hardest rappers. You know about this?
Yeah, he's like, don't let these parachute pants fool you, bro.
Like Ice Cube, like showing up and apologizing with flowers type shit.
Yeah.
I heard that.
What's MC Hammer's most notable song?
Can't touch this.
Can't touch this. Him?
Yeah.
You can't touch him.
Yeah, you really can't.
That's what he was saying to everybody.
Tail.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway.
Yeah, but the music industry in general is shady as fuck, dude. It's terrifying, really. I mean, you see it with Diddy. I mean, all that kind of stuff coming to light. Like, that's not the first and only person that's pulled those strings in silence that we didn't know about. Like, anybody that's really leveled up through the rap game has seen crazy shit, has seen horrible shit,
And especially in like a system with like any like coveted job, whether it's like being an entertainer, things that we think we all want to do or whatever, right? Like, I wish I could do that. Like when you get close, realizing that there's a guy who can make that decision for you if you just put up with his shit, that is a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's Harvey Weinstein or Diddy or the Nickelodeon guy or whoever.
Yeah, a lot of times putting up with his shit is his dick.
Sadly,
that's what it is. It's like kiss it.
Just give it a kiss, okay?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Making a deal with the devil. Right?
Yeah. Motherfucker's evil, dude.
Okay, so I asked you this before yesterday, so we might as well get it to like finish up the show. But I was curious. I was sitting in the dentist chair yesterday. I hate the dentist.
Yeah.
Curious about your relationship with the dentist, but I guess we can get there as their final thought. But I was thinking about what are like the scariest things to me. And these have to be things where you've like experienced the fear is what I had in my mind. So it's not like I'm afraid of dying this way. You've never died that way. So that wouldn't count. It's more like, ooh, you've experienced that scary feeling. I don't know if that's like a clear distinction, but I'm curious what comes to mind for you when we talk about that topic.
At a time, I would have said bees. Used to be terrified.
Are you allergic to them?
No, I think just as a kid, I just had a fear built up because like you would see kids at summer camp get stung, and they be wheeled off on stretchers and then thrown down a hill.
And you see one flying at you.
Yeah, I still to this day, if like one comes near my I tense up really bad. But I think okay, so one time in Greensboro, they opened up a new jail. And my stepdad called and was like, they're opening up this new jail downtown and they need 100 volunteers to stay the night. You want to do it with me? And I was like,
what was the purpose of the volunteering?
They just needed to get like the kinks out of the system and figure out like how the guards run their routines and all that kind of shit. And I was like, we could go fishing or something, but sure, if this is how you want to bond, that's how you want to get to know me. So I was like, sure, all right, whatever. And then he pulled out at the last second. So, So me and my mom went to jail. And
what?
Yeah. My mom and I went to jail. But doing that experience, because they didn't they treated us like we were in jail.
Jesus.
We were given charges that we draw numbers from a bowl, and they're like, okay, your charge is this, your charge is that. We had to go to the doctor at the jail, like get our vitals taken, all that kind of stuff.
Did they make you spread them?
Everything.
Like a true role play.
Jesus
True role play.
Christ, like scared straight.
Yeah, had to give up our possessions, all that kind of stuff. It was put in the bags and everything. Jumpsuits, all that. Get into the cell, everything. Jail food.
How was it?
It's terrifying, dude.
And you didn't have that thugger commissary.
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
weren't getting the Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Not
And
terrible, terrifying.
Yeah. And the thing is, this wasn't even with real prisoners. These are just motherfuckers that work at, Home Depot and everything. Like, it's just regular
Did you get
people.
$50 or something?
I can't remember if they gave us any money or anything like that. But it was just, it's so funny because it's like the sheriff was running for re-election or whatever. So it was like, look at this prison I made, and this is where you could end up if you don't elect me. And so yeah, like spending the night, I was maybe like, I don't know, 19, 20 or something like that. Like spending that night there just to experience what it's like. I'm like, never, dude, like going to jail. That is so scary to me. Like to actually like end up in jail. Like not even if you did something purposefully wrong. Say it's like you fucked up on your taxes and they're like, well,
right,
jail for you.
You like ran somebody over by accident or something, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
dude, anything like that. Where I'm like, that's where I'm like, there's a certain age where you just can't get in fights no more. Like you get in a fight, you say you win, but that motherfucker cracks his head off the ground, and next thing you know, he's just, yo, that's your ass.
Totally.
Now you in jail. You won the fight, but you didn't win
You lost the war, dude.
Yeah, dude. Horrifying.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one actually. That's very specific. Thank you. That was very helpful. Which reminds me of, isn't it blow your mind? You watch like a fight video, like most of the people you're seeing get knocked out or surviving.
Dude,
I'm like, what are you all doing?
The things you can see on the internet are insane. Where you're just like, you can just see live action Grand Theft Auto. Like you open your phone. Your phone is such a crazy place.
It really is.
Literally in 4 scrolls is recipe, dogs, fight, ass, repeat. And you're just like, you just watched a man die in between a pasta recipe and the cutest dog have you ever seen in your life. And then you just go on about your day like you just didn't watch somebody just get run the fuck over.
You forget about it instantly.
Every day.
And you don't even follow the accounts.
You don't.
CrimeNet, which is verified on Twitter, pops up every 4th or 5th video for me. Mm-hmm. The first one here is from yesterday. It's a video of somebody throwing a full Red Bull off of a balcony, hitting a woman in the face.
Oh my God.
And like, that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And that's painful. And then another one that I saw this morning was a guy working on he was working on some like pipe and he was trying to pry it open. And then it sucked him in.
Oh my God.
And he died.
Oh my God.
And you just see people die all day on Twitter.
That's crazy too.
In between your feed.
You're right. It's insane. And then the algorithm's like, oh, you watched that.
You liked that.
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
You watched it twice.
Yeah, you watched it because
Here's
you had to adjust and like see, like process it. You're like, what did I just see? And then you watch it again. They're like, okay, so feed him more.
Right.
They
You
like
showed
this.
your boys.
Yeah. They're like, he likes that, obviously.
And they
He
don't
responds to that.
censor any of it. There's one more that I saw recently. There was a woman that was working in a factory. And there's a machine that's just spinning like this.
Oh my God.
It's just spinning like this, and she walks, and it's two logs to like flatten things, and so they're spinning like opposite of each other together. Yeah. And she walks over, and her jacket gets caught in it, and within a second, she gets sucked in, blood. She just was
died?
pulverized. Oh, she's gone,
obliterated.
She's not there. It's just blood.
Exist.
Like there's not even like there's just blood. She just turned into blood.
God, bro.
Dude.
And then there's people in the background like,
you know what's crazy is like that person has an obituary and like in your family, like think about telling somebody, like think about you as a family member having to explain to other people how your aunt died. And then just her video is just around on the internet.
Right. You try to like leave that out, but you
try to
just
leave it out,
can't.
and people are just like retweet.
Isn't that? Yeah.
and now we've come to learn that happens to more people than you'd think. Mm-hmm. You'd always think that could never happen to somebody. Yeah. That happened to someone's aunt, like all the time.
It's wild, dude. And then we're like, why are we depressed? It's like, like, look at what you saw today.
You could be incinerated at any moment. Yeah. All right, Lynch. Any fears pop into your head? Things that scare you?
I don't like being deep in the ocean.
Fair.
and turbulence.
Yeah.
But we've spoken that to death.
Yeah.
I sleep too well on planes to even get
Good
there.
for you.
Yeah. Superpower.
I'm out before the plane takes off.
If I make eye contact during turbulence, if I make eye contact with anybody that's matching my fearful energy, I'm on the verge of screaming bloody murder. Yeah. I need everyone to be brave for me. I can't do it. I do not like the
If you
turbulence.
see somebody else being like,
if I'm like, and I make eye contact with you, and you're like,
Yeah.
not good.
Oh man.
Not good. I need everyone to be brave for me.
Dude, I'm just sitting there like,
yeah.
That's I'd love to sit next to you on a plane.
yeah.
I'm trying to get better about that.
What about
too.
you, Julio?
Yeah, I mean, turbulence is one of them, and it makes no sense. Like, it's one of those things where it's irrational. Like, in my head, I'm like, this is not scary. This is objectively not scary. But then I'm like, all right, this is the same as like being jerked around on a roller coaster. Like, you don't think you're going to die. It just sucks.
Right.
So is that the dentist? I'm trying to get better about that one too.
Yeah, if you drove over a cobblestone road, you wouldn't be like, holy shit,
Right,
we're gonna,
exactly.
you know.
And that is also objectively a more dangerous activity, as everybody always says. Air travel's so safe.
I did see a video on Twitter yesterday of a woman falling off of a carnival roller coaster.
Oh my god,
I didn't.
We gotta
Lock it up.
recalibrate your feed, man.
Yeah.
You see it
Maybe
too
just
much.
delete it.
Yeah, you're
Literal
seeing too
doom
much.
That's why I
scrolling.
can't get hard anymore.
Yeah. I saw a woman fall off a roller coaster today. You expect me to fuck you?
I guess.
Serious? I can't get hard for you. There's people out here getting sucked into lumberjack machines.
And that's why I use code OOPS for hymns. No, I'm joking. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for listening. Jordan, what's your socials? Where can we find you? All that stuff.
At Jourdain Fisher, JOURDAIN Fisher, FISHER. Just follow me on Instagram.
Give him a follow. Go see him on the road. Lynchy, when you're coming up.
At Ryan is really polite on all socials. Send us emails at oopsthepodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, at not Julio G on TikTok and Snapchat. Lynch is going to be with me the 1st of June in Boston, Lap Boston. Come check that out. Come see me this weekend in Detroit, House of Comedy. And that's all, guys. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.